Welcome to Instruqt Tutorials. In this video, we'll explore the lab configuration, layouts, and making changes to an existing lab. To get started, we'll use the skeleton lab that we have already created. If you didn't yet create your first lab, head to our documentation before continuing on. To explore our lab, we'll be using a code editor called Visual Studio Code. Go ahead and download it before continuing this video, or download any code editor you prefer. We can open the lab directly within Visual Studio Code, or in your terminal, you can pull up your current directory with cd and the slug of the lab you created, and then type code space period. This will open up Visual Studio Code and all the files in the lab directory. If code period does not open VS Code for you with the files of the current directory, you might need to enable shell integration. Head over to VS Code, go to View Command Palette, and type shell. Select the Install Code command in the Path option and hit Enter. Here we see several directories that contain README files explaining what they are used for, along with two .hcl files that contain a minimal functional configuration for the lab. Let's examine the main.hcl file, which contains the definition of the lab resource. Along with the title, your lab can include a multi-line description. For short, single-line descriptions, just use quotes. For longer text, you have two options. Use HereDoc syntax, as shown in the skeleton lab, or use the file function to pull in content from a local file. Below the description is a layout block named single column. This defines which layouts are available for use in our lab content. You can add multiple layout blocks. Just give each one a unique name and link it to a specific layout resource. You can reference other resources and their fields by using their full path. For instance, in the example lab, the layout block references a layout resource named single panel like this. If you wanted to reference the lab's title, you'd use resource.lab.main.title, which would return skeleton lab. The layout resource lets you create custom layouts for the Instruqt lab UI. Layouts are made up of panels, organized using nested columns and rows. You can set each panel size using percentages, like 50 for half width. In the layouts.hcl file, you'll find a generated layout called single panel, which defines a single column named instructions. You'll use this name later to assign tabs to that panel. For a full list of layout options, check the lab reference section in the documentation. Now let's look at updating an existing lab. Open main.hcl and change the lab title to something like My First Lab. Then update the description field to This is my first lab. Hit Command S to save. To make sure everything's still valid, let's pull up a terminal and run instruct lab validate. If there are any validation errors, the CLI will point out exactly what's wrong and where. Fix the issues until the lab validates successfully. From here, you can manage your lab using standard Git workflows. To see what's changed, run git status. If everything looks good and there are no unexpected changes, go ahead and add the files you want to commit with git add main.hcl. Now we'll commit the changes with a clear message. This helps teammates understand what's been updated since their last visit. Finally, the changes can be pushed to GitHub. Because we've already defined the upstream of the repository, we can simply push the changes with git push. It will ask us for our passkey. Once you push your changes, Instruqt will automatically pull them from GitHub. Now let's head to the lab section in Instruqt and find our lab. We see a checkmark status with the commit hash from GitHub, and if we hover over it, there's the timestamp. Let's launch the lab, and the updated title and description appear on the loading screen. Great job! For more information about getting started and exploring the lab configuration, head to our documentation page.